The Iranian Revolution started in 1978 and ended in 1979. Iranians and citizens were unhappy with the rulership of the Iranian king. Muhammad Reza Shah Pahlavi took over after his father on September 16, 1941. Students and religious leaders in Qom, Iran demonstrated against a false story attacking Khomeini, who happened to be helping overthrow the Shah in the press. That caused the army to be sent in. Most of the students were killed. January 1979, Shah left Tehran for an extended vacation. Khomeini supporters rioted and tore down Shah statues throughout Iran. February 9, 1779, the streets of Tehran were flooded with people because of the return of the religious leader known by the name of Ayatollah Khomeini. Khomeini promised economic reform and a return to traditional religious values. This event was one of the largest demonstrations in human history. February 11th, tanks moved through the streets of Tehran. Rumors of the military coup flew, but the army did not respond. Revolutionaries broke into the leading radio station of Tehran and broadcast, "This is the voice of the revolution of the Iranian Revolution." People hated the ruler of Shah. This is because he used manipulation and fear to lead the people. He used secret police known by the name of Savak to spy and report back to him. Shah's regime consisted of changes within the Muslim tradition. These changes made citizens react in a negative way. His ideologies included banning of alcohol, tobacco, gambling, foreign dress, veil for women, and punishments such as cutting off the hand. In August 1978, in Abadan, Iran, his police set fire to the cinema Rex. 400 people in the cinema died. The U.S. sent in military troops to stabilize Iran. In November 1979, the Iranian revolutionaries seized the U.S. embassy and held over 60 Americans captive for 444 days, known as the hostage crisis. The students held hostages in demand of the return of Shah, but he died before they had a chance to negotiate a release. Finally, with the Iranians showing no signs of releasing the hostages, Carter decided to take a risk. On April 11, 1980, he approved a high-risk rescue operation called Desert One that had been in the works for months. When another helicopter crashed into a C-130 transport plane while taking off, 8 servicemen were killed and 3 more were injured.
On January 20th, 1981, the day that President Carter's term ended, the hostages were released. Many things changed after the revolution. They adopted what was called the Sharia law, which included many laws based on the Quran. Women had to be covered. It's against the law to eat pork, drink alcohol, or even sleep in a comfortable bed. Iran today has a strong foundation for rapid growth and development, and now has the world's largest petroleum reserve. But revolution, war, mismanagement, and factional feud over economic policy have undercut potential since the Islamic birth in 1979. Iran's reliance on oil revenues put it at the mercy of energy market fluctuations. Prices of oil in 1999 were $10 per barrel and rose above $145 in 2008. After Khomeini's death in 1989, a shift occurred in the Islamic Republic's economy. Newly elected President Akbar Rafsanjani sought to rebuild a country that was battered by a decade of revolution and war. This would cost approximately $1 trillion in direct and indirect costs. This included infrastructure development, privatization of state enterprises, foreign exchange liberalization, establishment of free trade zones, and elimination of subsidies and price controls. After this accomplishment, he wanted to utilize foreign lending as well as efforts to attract private, domestic, and foreign investment.
In the early part of the 21st century, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad took a tough anti-U.S. stance. Mahmoud was born in Aradan, Iran on October 28, 1956. He assumed presidency of Iran in 2005 and was re-elected in 2009. His second election sparked widespread protests by Iranians who considered the contest corrupt. Iran's current president, Hassan Rouhani, born in Surkhi, Iran on November 12, 1948, became president August 2, 2013, becoming Iran's seventh president. His campaign slogan, "Moderation and Wisdom," was a success. His victory signaled a more progressive direction for the future of Iran. The Iranian Revolution changed the religious views and practices of Iran. It also made them more militant. It made them more anti-West. However, it remains to be seen whether or not the new moderation leader will lead Iran back to a more pro-Western stance in the coming years. What is certain, the cultural and political landscape was forever changed by the revolution of 1979.